Sisters. I am Kate.
I'm Leia, and for this episode, we're going to talk about the award season Hoopla. So just as a bit of a spoiler warning, hopefully, well, by the time this particular episode comes out, the Oscars would have been concluded. And we're not really here to discuss we're probably going to discuss our predictions,
Yes.
but really what we're going to talk about is more about how we felt about this particular award season
yes.
has been, and that's really going to be the focus of our topic for today.
Yeah, who we think should win and who
Yeah.
we think will win.
Mm-hmm.
Because by now, if you are following award season from the Golden Globes onwards,
Yeah.
you get a sense already of who's going to win the Oscar,
Mhm.
basically.
And what we're going to do is really just nitpick, share our thoughts about how has this award season been controversial or had certain issues or concerns, and hopefully what we're going to sort of like dish out here would maybe go to the gods or the voters of all of the award season, and really just to look into how it can be improved moving forward.
And the alternative title of this episode is where Leia shows her love for Adam Driver.
Yes.
This is where you will begin to see her love for Adam Driver.
Okay, so let's start with the show.
Yep.
Okay, so we're now going to start off this particular show by giving our predictions for the Oscar major categories in 5 specific areas. So we will be giving our thoughts on who we want to win
Yes.
versus who we think will win in the following categories: best movie,
Mhm.
best actor in a leading role,
Yes.
best actress in a leading role,
Mhm.
best actor in a supporting role, best actress in a supporting role, and best film in another language.
Yes. It's no longer a foreign language. It's another language. They're being PC here in the Oscars now.
Yeah, so we can't actually give every single prediction, but
we wish we'll
we
be here
wish.
forever.
yeah, but we will just give those that we felt are somewhere we can put our voice in to a certain extent.
Yes.
Because we're not really experts in the other parts. I would like to comment on directing, but maybe let's see if we can
In
we
the
can talk
future,
about,
we'll do that in the future as we go along with our episodes, and maybe we'll see each other again this time next year, and we will be talking about those things.
Yeah, so we probably have more meat by then to be able to say who we really think are the best in the categories that are being nominated for.
And note, a lot of these movies have not been shown here in the Philippines yet.
Okay, so let's start first with the best film. Okay, so
Okay,
they have a lot of nominees in film. So we'll just run down all of the nominees for best picture. Okay, so the nominees for best picture are Ford versus Ferrari. So that was shown in the Philippines.
I love that movie. Oh
Okay.
my god.
The Irishman, okay. Jojo Rabbit, that I wish I could see here. Joker was actually considered one of the biggest blockbusters here in the Philippines.
Yes.
Okay. Little Women, so it's a retelling of the Louisa May Alcott book,
Not showing here yet. Maybe next month.
hopefully. Marriage Story, which is currently streaming in Netflix.
Yes.
1917.
Now showing.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Showed
and
last year.
Parasite.
Now showing as well. My
Okay.
brother loved Parasite.
Okay. So, for you, Kate, who do you think or who do you want to win?
Well, for me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can't go wrong with a Quentin Tarantino movie. Quentin Tarantino has shown his talent, his directing chops, his writing chops,
Yeah.
because he will definitely win for screenplay,
Yeah.
in all honesty. And I liked his balls when he said, I wrote this. Nobody else wrote this. I wrote this. So the credit goes to me. And it's true. I mean, he really, in every movie that he just gets better and better in every movie that he comes out with and he creates. And I I'm actually pretty excited to see what comes out with Quentin Tarantino. There were even rumors that he was supposed to like direct. I don't know if it's a Marvel film or a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
They're slated to do that. I don't know if it's gonna push through, but there were rumors that was going to supposed to happen. Like one of the big directors, and he was one of them that's supposed to like direct one of those big franchise films. But see, Quentin Tarantino shines when when he has all of the when he makes all the creative decisions. So I don't know if that can translate to a bigger budget movie, because a lot of people are making decisions that he has no control over. So here, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because it's really one of those films that everybody was talking about last year, that, you know, the casting choices of Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, how they play with each other in that film, really showed the story to its perfection.
Okay, so in my for me, if I were to choose who I want to win, I'm torn between two movies. One is Parasite, only because it's been a while since an Asian film has won both Best Foreign Language Film, which is the previous category, and the Best Picture at the same time in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I hope my facts are correct. You can correct me in the comments if you can like, but that movie was landmark in the sense because it won in those two major categories. But I can do a little bit of fact checking, but that's why Parasite I want to win.
I think Parasite will win this one.
Yeah. And the other one, which is my underdog, is Marriage Story, because I really have a gravitation towards simple stories that are elevated to a level of fantastic relatability.
Yes.
So that particular movie is very, very gut-wrenching. It was heartwarming. So it's really between Parasite and Marriage Story for me. However,
they're not going to give it to Marriage Story.
Who do you think you will win now?
Well, I honestly think it's Parasite. It's between Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The dark horse is 1917.
Yeah.
My brother watched this one and he was telling me the story of it, and he says it's really beautiful, really beautifully done. And the thing is, this movie was not even out yet, and it was already nominated for so many awards. So this looks like a dark horse. Marriage Story is not gonna get it only because it's Netflix. There is still that discrimination over, it's streaming. It's not feature film. You know, they have that discrimination still. The way Joker will not win. Because it is a superhero movie. It's not necessarily seen as a drama, even if I know Joaquin Phoenix will win Best Actor.
Okay, so I will correct myself. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon did win for Best Foreign Language Film, but it was nominated for Best Picture. So it did not win Best Picture. So I'm looking, I'm hoping that someday there's going to be a foreign language film that also wins Best Picture at the same time.
I think Parasite will.
I have a feeling Parasite will, but the thing is that who I think will win, given the following reasons. They won in the Producers Guild. They won at BAFTAs. They also won in Golden Globes. It's 1917. So 1917, and because the Oscars, for those who might not know, it's really composed of voters that are coming from the multiple guilds. So usually,
so they voted for this one movie.
The likelihood would actually be that the film that won most likely either the DGA or Directors Guild of America Awards or the Producers Guild of America Awards would most likely be the ones who would really take the forefront. And there are branches for those who probably are not in the know about Oscars, or at least I'm not even in the know of Oscars. But what I know is that each of the awards that we're going to comment on would have a specific governors that oversees the set of voters. So for movie, there are some representatives from some of the guilds, but the majority of the voters are coming from the PGA list.
Yes.
So from the Users Guild of America. So while I want to win either Parasite or Marriage Story, I have a huge feeling that 1917 will be the one that takes the
Do
cake.
we really need another World War movie? I mean, seriously, haven't we seen this story? The same story. It's basically almost like Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah.
except that it's a guy who has a company who is given this task to give a message. I get it. It's an important year. It was for an important day. It actually won the World War I for Britain at the time, according to what my brother was telling me.
Yeah.
And he's a genius at this thing, at these things. So I do respect what he's saying here. But really, do we need another war movie? That's what I'm saying. Can we diversify here, please? Can we have another something else? We've seen this story over and over again. Can we leave World Wars alone?
Yeah, so that's that. But okay, so next commentary. So since we already started talking about
Actors.
films, actually films. So let's now look into the foreign language film category. We're in the feature, or it's not termed as international feature film. Okay.
Yes.
So the nominees are Corpus Christi from Poland. Obviously, I haven't seen that. Honeyland from North Macedonia. Les Miserables from France. Oh, so there's a Les Miserables version, a French version.
Again.
Les Miserables. Okay. Pain and Glory by Spain, and Parasite is South Korea. So
I think what happened with Crouching Tiger is gonna happen with Parasite.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a likelihood, and that's actually my answer to both questions. Who I think will win and who will win is both Parasite.
For
Only
international.
for the fact that one of the things that I saw as a response in the Screen Actors Guild Awards, when Parasite, there's an award for in SAG Awards wherein they highlight the best ensemble.
Yes.
Okay. And when the ensemble of Parasite came onto the stage to introduce their movie, they got a roaring standing ovation. Everybody liked Parasite. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to win this category because how the reception of the American audiences and the worldwide audiences for Parasite is high time. I mean, guys, and it's a subtitled film.
Yes, it is.
So you can just imagine how challenging it is, and
it's a thriller too. It's not a drama. It's not a drama. And the story is quite quirky for, well, I mean, in terms of it coming from South Korea, their stories are pretty quirky. So it really is that it will win. I bet on it now.
yeah, Parasite.
It's gonna win.
Okay, so that's both who you think it will win.
Yeah, because the other movies, I mean, Poland has won in the past. North Macedonia is new.
Yeah.
France has also won in the past.
Yeah.
Spain, not so much. It's also new. Spain gets in and out of this category. I would love to see a Filipino film here.
Yes, so do I.
I do. I would.
And
And looking at our trajectory in filmmaking, we will. In the future, I think we will have a
yeah.
nominee
We will
here.
nail that film, guys. I'm
Yeah.
also equally praying to see the
Yeah.
Philippines as part of this list in the future. Okay? So let's now move into maybe ladies first.
Okay.
Actress in a supporting role. So the actress in the supporting role, the nominees are Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson, who's a double nominee for this year, but she's nominated here for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh, who is actually considered a surprise nominee for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell.
For Bombshell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you want to win?
Well, I gotta go with my girl Margot Robbie. You know, but it's a stretch because Bombshell it did not do so well I mean, in the box office.
Mhm.
But the story is important, and Margot Robbie's character here is very important as well. Note, this movie has not been shown in the Philippines yet. It's coming soon. So, I don't know how the Philippine audience will respond to this one. But, yeah, she's the one I favor to win. But I don't think this is the role for her to win yet.
Okay.
I believe Margot Robbie will be a mainstay in Oscar nominations based on
the choices that she's
the choices that she is making are very smart and very diverse. So she will get an Oscar, just not particularly for this role. If she does, I will be shocked. But
Who do you think you will win?
it looks like Laura Dern.
Okay, it's the same thing. Who I think will win is actually Laura Dern. Only because in all of the award ceremonies, whether it's the local guild awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, she already took home that. She already took the trophy home. Golden Globe Awards, even BAFTAs.
Yes.
She took home the actress and supporting role. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wins this.
She took the Golden Globes as well.
Yeah,
right?
she took the Golden Globes as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if she takes this. It would actually be a surprise for me if she doesn't. But
Yes.
considering the fact that she is the head of the governors for this branch, so there's
Isn't that a conflict of
that's the reason why
I feel icky about that.
that's the reason why with all due fairness to Laura Dern, during the Oscars the nominees lunch, the dinner luncheon, the governors are supposed to be the one that introduces the members who participated in the luncheon.
Yeah.
But Laura Dern stepped aside and let somebody else introduce all of the nominees who were present around that time.
Yeah.
Which, ironically speaking, Joaquin Phoenix, Adam Driver, Brad Pitt, and I think Scarlett Johansson was not present during the luncheon.
Well, Brad Pitt, it's because he had a personal matter, and they're saying that he had to go they had to go and see Maddox at the time. This is why Margot Robbie was the one who accepted his award at the BAFTAs and was the one who gave speech for him. So I do understand that he wouldn't be there. Scarlett Johansson, not sure why she wasn't there.
Adam Driver, I would understand because I think they have an event for his nonprofit, which is ITAF. Okay. If you want to know more, we will put the link towards ITAF in the show notes
box down below.
Yeah. But who I think I wanna win is actually Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my God.
Because it's not easy to pull off the accent that she did for Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, I'll give
Number
you
one.
that.
And then it's a very controversial movie. So it in the same sense as Margot Robbie being so gutsy in making choices for herself as well.
Yeah.
So I want Scarlett Johansson to win for this. But in the same vein as what Kate mentioned, it's not something that can be easily be a winning role for Scarlett, but hopefully she wins. But since the derbies and since the guilds have actually really spoken aloud about how Laura Dern performed, so I'll take that. I'll take Marriage Story anytime or Laura Dern winning anytime. I'm good with it. Okay.
Yeah, she's the favorite to win this one.
Okay, so now we're going to look into actor in a supporting role.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, so the nominees are... Let me go for the nominees first. We're going ahead of ourselves. Okay, the nominees are Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in Hollywood, Anthony Hopkins, The
A
Two
Beautiful
Popes.
Day in the Neighborhood.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Sorry about that. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, Al Pacino, The Irishman, Joe Pesci, The Irishman. He came out of retirement just for this movie. Okay?
I mean, Martin Scorsese. So.
Yeah. Who can go wrong?
I mean, who says no to Martin Scorsese?
Okay.
If there was a movie mobster, that's him.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'll start first who I want to win. Honestly, I want Anthony Hopkins to win. I saw The Two Popes. It was really good.
Oh my God.
It was really good. It was really good. But again, because Netflix and the likelihood of who the past winners have already gone through, from the Golden Globe to Belfast, and even Screen Actors Guild Awards. I think Brad Pitt will win. And I thank God for the Screen Actors Guild Awards, because there was a Brad Jen moment. And I was like, oh, you two exes are so cute.
No, but you know, the pictures actually show something different than the video. There was a video of that encounter. It only happened, the encounter only took like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because Brad had just come out. He had just won his award.
Yeah.
Jen her name has just been called.
Yeah.
So they were like passing ships, right?
Yeah.
And so they were essentially saying congratulations to each other. And then she tapped him. He held her a bit, and then she pulled out of the touch.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the cameras are showing the sweet moment, but look for the video. The video does not show the same thing as the pictures.
Yeah. But at the very least, at least in that particular moment, they were civil enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no bad feelings. But because at the end of the day, even him and Angelina Jolie got broken up. Anyway, but that's a different conversation.
It's because they got married. Anyway. They should have got married.
So now we move to my most awaited part in the commentary for Oscars, which is now the actor in the leading role.
Yep.
So the nominees are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my boy Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. So
Yep.
who do you think who do you want to win versus who do you think will win?
Well, I gotta give it to my boy Leo because
That's who do you want to win?
yeah, who I want to win. Because really, Leo has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride, and he won it for Revenant. But if you look at it, this was the role that he had pretty much no speaking part.
Yeah.
It was just his face, which is pretty telling for his talent as an actor. But I question, do they really like his voice? Because when he speaks, I mean, he did well in Blood Diamond. He had a South African accent. There are so many movies that he was nominated. Wolf of Wall Street was also another perfect movie for him. He should have won. There are so many times he should have won. Really, seriously, and yet he wins in the movie where he gets attacked by a bear and he cannot speak. So, what is Hollywood trying to say? It's like, we kind of hate you.
Okay.
But the thing is, yeah, I would have given it, but he's not gonna win it for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And besides, he just won. It's the track record for Oscars giving
back to back
awards. I mean, Tom Hanks is just one of those few people who actually won back to back.
Did he for Philadelphia Stalker and
and
Apollo 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, not even Daniel Day was
Won.
able to.
But he's the most
But he's
awarded.
consistent.
Yeah. But he's the most awarded actor,
he
but
wins a lot.
he didn't win back to back.
Yeah. But it's Joaquin. You know, there's no need to beat around the bush on this one. It's Joaquin. He's gonna win. He has been the favorite moving forward. What I look forward to is his speech. What is he gonna talk about now?
Wow.
Because he has called everybody racists.
Yeah, but we'll
He has-
talk about that later.
You know,
But
so it's kind of that. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm jumping the gun here. But yes, he's gonna win.
and that breaks my heart because who I think will win definitely is Joaquin Phoenix. And this is a major disclaimer, and I think even Kate knows this. I haven't watched Joker. But the previews and the trailers, and given that what I mentioned that for some reason Hollywood has a stick mule for actors who transform themselves. And this is a major transformation for Joaquin. He lost weight for the job. He really had to study what it really went in through the Joker's head, and he really took the character in. So I wouldn't be really surprised that when I saw him first nominated for the role in Golden Globes, I had the feeling he would win. But who I really want to win is Adam Driver. because he was nominated for Black Klansman last year as a supporting role, and this year he's now he's nominated for Marriage Story, and if you follow his trajectory in 10 years, he's actually one of those rarefied actors who worked with the best of the best in the industry. He's worked with Scorsese. He's worked with Soderbergh on a movie that he got out of retirement from, which is Young and Lucky.
Yeah.
He worked with Jim Jarmusch. He's worked with Noah Baumbach like 4 times. That's the reason why this is his 4th collaboration with Noah Baumbach for a Marriage Story. And like, guys, you have to admit, he made Kylo Ren in Star Wars to be one of the most powerful characters in the franchise alone. I mean, he could even beat Anakin Skywalker in the fright levels, because and he has a way of transforming his face. And for him to get awarded for Marriage Story is a big thing for me, because it was his most compassionate role to date, and he has a range. He can play such a really bad boy and a jackass in This Is Where I Left You, and he's had a very compassionate, mild roles even in Patterson. The guy has range, okay, and that's why I wish he could have won. And the really main reason why, and why I want him to win, because if you're following the Guild Derbies or the Guild Awards, the smaller ones, it's not really the big ones, he's actually winning in all of them. He's won the Palm Spring Awards, he's won ACTA, he's won all of the all of the most Guild Awards, and which actually surprises me that for an actor that's winning in Marriage Story for most of the Guild Awards, I was at least even wishing for him to win the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
At the very least. But he didn't win. So that was sort of like, wow, on my part. And even Joaquin Phoenix acknowledges that every time that he wins, he wishes that it were Adam Driver.
Yeah.
So guys,
but that's Joaquin's personality.
Yeah.
Really, because of his social anxiety, and
Yeah.
he would rather not be there.
Yeah.
He would rather be at home.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, it's not Adam's time yet. Although I will say he is our next Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, because for the level of the range in terms of, and he has really made really good choices. The guy's range is, I'm telling you, if you look into his movie range, he doesn't really appear much, but the level of range and the people or the set of creatives he's worked with, he's making good choices over the last 10 years. And I think he just graduated from Juilliard 2009.
Yeah.
So you can just imagine, he even says himself he's really lucky.
Yeah.
And it's also his down earth attitude. It's really what also why I'm kind of wishing I want him to win, because the guy deserves the recognition he's getting. Although similarly to Joaquin Phoenix, he's sort of like standoffish when it comes to.
I want to see him do speeches.
Yeah. So, but he does.
Watch his TED Talk.
Yeah. So, watch his TED Talk. It's also available in the iTap, or you can just Google YouTube, wherein he talks about his non-profit organization, which is Arts in the Armed Forces, and which recently, through the fandom of Star Wars, this is where my faith in the fandom has been restored, was able to pull a GoFundMe campaign that reached up to $90,000 for his organization, which he thanked for. And can you just imagine, his nonprofit was actually targeting to only have like $20,000 for a budget to finance all of their activities, visiting camps, doing play shows for military personnel. And he was able to get like a 4-year donation target.
His budget is fully
stocked. And I'm kind of happy, by the way, so that you're interested, we'll put the link to ITAF on the show notes.
Yes.
And just as a small interest, he co-founded it with his wife, who he met in Juilliard.
Yes.
Who is Joanne Tucker.
Who's also a great actress in
yeah,
her own right.
Yeah, she's also a great actress in her own right. So, I would want for Adam Driver to win, but I kinda agree that maybe it's not his time, but
you know why the only reason why I say this is because I believe there is a role for him that is, you know, undisputable.
yeah.
That will showcase his talent. That will be the talk of the town. That's my prediction. Because Adam Driver, from the way that he is handling his career right now, is on the right path for that.
Yeah. And I hope there's going to be an actor in the future. Any actor, whether you're an actress or an actor, that you don't need to transform just to win a role. Because seriously, I don't know what's with the award giving or the voters. Why do you always have to put people in a position wherein they need to transform themselves just to show their acting chops? That's the reason why I kinda was rooting for Adam Driver, because he didn't do anything to his face. He didn't lose weight for the role.
Yeah.
But
it was just Adam Driver.
he carried it out with such a way wherein this is a guy who is in the brink of divorce. It can be considered a familiar trope,
Yes.
but a lot of people gravitated toward the movie. And I'm just feeling that the reason probably they don't want him to win because, again, it's Netflix.
Yeah.
So, which is a sad part. Okay, so
award season so funny.
So okay, this award season, funny enough, or sad enough, is again rife with controversy.
Yes.
On so many levels.
Yeah.
Number one, although we didn't comment about the director's list of nominees, this is again a year where no female director was nominated for the best director category.
Yeah.
And then most of the actors that were nominated for the acting categories, whether supporting or leading, are all white.
Also white.
Again. And then all of the political angles of the speeches.
Yeah.
So that's that. So on the director's part, Rebel Wilson takes the cake on the best commentary for the best director, the director's nomination so far, because across Golden Globes, BAFTAs, all of the, even in the DGAs,
Yes.
they're all men. And she said it well in the BAFTAs, wherein she mentioned, we'll probably cut this and I will try to put an inset of the video itself wherein she says that she cannot imagine being in their shoes because she doesn't have the balls.
Literally.
Not have the balls. Okay.
But you know, I honestly think that when it comes to directors, it's a boys' club, right? And but what I am hopeful about is that there are now more opportunities for female directors, and they are kicking ass.
Yeah.
That is what I am so happy about. You know, Patty Jenkins is kicking ass. Ava DuVernay is kicking ass. So it's only a matter of time when the Oscars and the award shows cannot ignore their talent anymore. So as women, we just have to continue to be determined and continue to do the work. We need to show them that they cannot deny us our talent, and eventually they will give it. Because the fact that they're already acknowledging films from Netflix, even if, you know, it's like, not gonna win, but we will acknowledge you, that's a step forward. Because that gives Netflix a way to say, alright, we're on the right path, will do even better.
Yeah.
So with the women, you cannot ignore the product that they're putting out there. So that is what I'm happy about.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
we are standing tall.
Yeah, Lulu Wang for the farewell. Was brave in the DHR Directors Roundtable. She was even invited to host to have her movie streamed in Netflix, and she was very brave enough to say that, why would I even subscribe to the platform when I don't even have a voice?
Right.
At the time of the director's table, the members of that particular director's table who were there, Noah Baumbach was there, Martin Scorsese was there.
Yes.
Both of their films are actually on Netflix. The Irishman is on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not just a film; it's an epic story.
Okay, so
It's
the
really long.
Irishman is on Netflix, and Marriage Story is on Netflix.
Yes.
And Lulu Wang said that I could have gone through that route, but the thing is that I haven't even made a name for myself. So sometimes when you have directors like you actually help further the brand. So which is good marketing tactic. Netflix.
Yes.
But I mean, putting something as Scorsese movie as part of your lineup really does further the brand.
Yep.
But good on also Lulu Wang to really have that desire to put the movie Farewell in cinemas.
Yes.
And in the same sense as what happened with Crazy Rich Asians, it actually really did well in the runs in the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with a limited release, it actually did well.
Well, because one, it was a very beautifully made movie.
Yeah.
It's aspirational. It has a lot of the elements that we enjoy in a romantic comedy. And at the same time, it shows us a life that a lot of people in the world are not aware of.
Yeah.
That there are crazy rich Asians.
And at least for the Farewell, it really talks about a cultural subset that is not really common.
Yeah.
With Americans, wherein we really grieve differently compared to Americans. Our
Yes.
grieving process is really the grieving process of most Asians are different. Even
yeah.
the Chinese they have different grieving process compared to Filipinos.
The traditions that we have.
Yeah. So it's nice that traditions that are specific to a certain race is being highlighted
Yes.
on a forefront stage. And good job on Lulu Wang. Even if she's a American-born Chinese or Chinese-born American or Chinese American, she's able to at least have that heritage of a story really brought into a much bigger platform. So there's greater awareness and greater understanding towards diversity.
Yes, true.
Right.
Always Be My Baby has done that as well. Why did we segued into this whole? But the thing is, what I love is that we are beginning to wake up. We are beginning to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
And I agree that we should have more diversity, but we should force it.
Yeah.
It should come out naturally so that it becomes seminal. It becomes respected. It's not just because they were a different skin color that they were nominated, right? It's so difficult to balance that.
Yeah.
And I think Hollywood is beginning to really see that and beginning to hear that need, that clamor, and I'm so glad that we are showing up for these movies that have that has a diverse cast.
Yeah.
Because we need to. That's the only way we can make them change their minds.
Yeah.
Is that we need to show up for these movies. We need to watch these movies. We need to show Hollywood that it's bankable.
Yeah.
Because they are ultimately a business. Ultimately, it's about the money.
Yeah.
So if you show them that there is money in that, they're just gonna make some more.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, I'm happy that, well, although it was really, really controversial,
Yeah.
there are a lot of controversies in Hollywood that has already erupted over the last few years, from
Yes.
women's equity rights in terms of being paid equally. Equal pay for equal work.
Yeah.
Diversity has also been highlighted in the speeches. Even animal rights was even highlighted in speeches. Joaquin Phoenix even actually said
I
that
think
at the
Joaquin
BAFTAs
Phoenix in each of his speeches
would have
touched on all of those things.
So on all of those things, but I hope it gets to a larger audience, because the challenge actually about the award season is that we're really watching it. Maybe a good number of people are watching it because we're really looking forward to seeing what's really out there, what else is out there.
Yeah.
But the challenge here is this. The Oscars is such a touted ceremony in the industry,
But dropping in the ratings.
but the ratings are dropping.
Yes.
So the question here is that if you're going to think about it in all of the award season Hoopla, where do we get? Are we really getting the messages across?
And the thing is, I listen to the Fighter and the Kid podcast, and please note that is like a acquired taste podcast. If you are a more if you have a more refined palate, don't listen to that podcast. But I feel like now that I've said it, you will want to listen to it. The hosts, Brandon Schaub and Brian Callen, they're both comedians and they have a odd sense of humor, and they can be quite sexist sometimes. That's my problem with them. But they do make some points here. Is that Brian Callen said in one of the episodes, because of Joaquin, his speeches, they tackled his BAFTA speech in particular, is that Brian said the award shows is no place to be political because of it's the politics can backfire on you as an actor.
Yeah.
Because people see you as entertainment, as a form of entertainment, and they don't want to see you as someone who is in that way political.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that before where it can backfire. It can open because it's such a huge platform, so it's very tempting to use.
Yeah.
But is that really the right place
platform
to use it?
Yeah, so which actually leads me to Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
His commentary about when he opened the Golden Globes, it says, "Come up here, pick up your award, and just go."
Yeah.
It's actually it's a refreshing take on that. And although he accepts the fact that he might not get to host the Golden Globes again,
We're
but
gonna get him back.
I'm sure. But the thing
He
is
just
that
gets meaner and
meaner every time. But it's really true.
Yes.
Thank the people you need to thank. If you want to direct causes for certain causes, for example, I think one of the tastier ways of doing an award speech, one of the recent ones I kinda remembered was how Eddie Redmayne accepted his Oscar.
Yeah.
And he thanked the Hawking family, and he dedicated the award to people who are suffering from ALS.
Yes.
So that's a very good way
Tasteful way.
of highlighting causes in your speeches.
Yes.
Because if you're going to sort of like bite the hand that feeds you, which is exactly what Joaquin Phoenix did in his BAFTA speech.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still really want to work?
Yeah, because look.
Yeah.
What Brian Callen was saying,
Yeah.
and I just remembered it, is that,
Okay.
dude, you're not gonna do anything. You just called everybody a racist. You just called yourself a racist. But once you are given this role, are you gonna step aside and say, no, a black man should do it, or no, a Latino man should do it? No. Once you're given a role, you're not going to step aside and give it to someone else. That's the attitude there. Is that because all of you want to work, right? Your first instinct is not to say, give it to this person. I will step aside, right? Why did you go through all that process of auditioning, of reading, and whatnot, just to say at the very end, I will step aside for this person.
Yeah.
See, it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
It's counterproductive. It's more about supporting those that have already been made and those that are being made. Like I said, show up. Show up for the movies. Watch the movies. Stream them. Talk about them. Recommend them. Why do we watch things? Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
And essentially, if you guys do that, the big guns or the powers that be will listen. They will listen.
Because they like the money.
Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't want to just just do your art for nothing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure in the same sense, for example, again, my boy, when he started out, he just wanted to just act.
Yeah.
And that's good because, but I'm certain at some point in his life when he started doing his roles, he probably felt that I'm loving this, I'm loving acting, but it doesn't put food on the table.
Money is nice.
Yeah, money is nice. So so the fact that he's getting all the breaks that he's getting, and he still remains absolutely humble.
Yes.
With that, that's the reason why I like the guy now. I'm currently really fangirling over Adam Driver, and that's the reason why I agree, and I hope that he will win the Oscar someday.
He
because
will.
Of his,
He
because
will.
of his good attitude.
Unless he destroys himself, he is not self-sabotaging.
Yeah,
anyway.
he doesn't. He hasn't.
So he will.
Yeah.
He will. So
He hasn't.
I'm confident.
Yeah. So even, and he has a very good-natured humor about his entire life. I mean, even if he said that, well, I'm known for a certain role, and Kylo Ren from that space thing, even which is his SNL his SNL monologue.
Yeah.
He's very deprecating about that. So,
Yes.
and I like self-deprecating men with talent. Okay.
Yes.
So that's very important, especially if you really want to have longevity in an industry that's absolutely cutthroat, because there's so many talented people.
It's an industry of rejection.
Yes.
Right? Which is why I'm going back to the point that Joaquin Phoenix is not going to do anything. Why? Because why are you going to self-reject yourself when you are being given an opportunity just to give someone else an opportunity? Right? It's counterproductive. And plus, I don't think that person you're giving the opportunity to will appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because it was just given to them. They didn't work hard for it. That's the thing, is these awards, that's I think the core of these awards is that because you worked hard for this one thing, whatever sacrifice you had to make. Like Joaquin, he ate an apple a day. That's it. And I think a couple of lettuce leaves. I don't know. To get that, see, look at that sacrifice, that pain. That is what we are awarding, that talent. So if you just say, all right, I'll step aside for this person, how do you think that person will feel? You're just patronizing that person instead of acknowledging that they are talented. Instead of saying, I bow down to your talent.
Yeah.
Because I recognize you are better for this role than I am. That is real sacrifice. That is stepping aside instead of just calling everybody racists.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
So well, hopefully the speeches would be as entertaining.
Yeah,
but less political. Hopefully.
And at the end of the day, Adam, what we learned is you owe this girl a hug. That's basically it. That's what you owe this girl a hug. Yeah, calling Adam Driver.
So that's that. Okay. So we'll end the show by sharing you our recommendations for the best movie, what you should watch out of the nominees
Yes.
from the Oscars, and then that's going to be it for our next episode.
Alright.
So we're now at the portion we're going to, as we end the episode, we're going to share with you what you should check out from the Oscar set of
Lineup.
movies or
Yeah.
lineup. So I will start. For me, in terms of the best picture, I would recommend 3 movies that you should be able to check out, whatever platforms, whether it's through Netflix or any other best possible ways of doing so. Number 1 would be Marriage Story. Definitely, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Number
Stream it
2,
now.
yeah, stream it now. Number 2 would be Parasite. Definitely.
Parasite.
Parasite, you need to check it out. So you should be able to at least really appreciate it. And then Asians represent. And then last but not the least is Jojo Rabbit, because I love
She died
Taika
for Jojo
Waititi. I love that guy. I owe him for making my other love, Chris Hemsworth, really shine in Thor Ragnarok. So he's probably one of the best writers that I've seen to date.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait for him to even win an Oscar, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
One day. So
it's gonna be. It's
yeah,
gonna be.
but I have a feeling he might win for adapted screenplay.
He is like he's part of the new crop,
Yes.
along with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
And, you know, Gunn.
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
They are this new crop of directors that are, again, oh man, I'm sorry. But really, Ava DuVernay deserves an Oscar. Deserves an Oscar. I mean, don't even wait for her to make a film. Just give it to her.
Yeah.
But again, yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's that.
So, yeah, Taika Waititi. I'm looking, but I have a feeling he might win adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Because he already won, I think, for adapted screenplay. So he's probably going to get the Oscar.
Maybe.
Okay, but how about you?
Well, if you haven't watched Ford versus Ferrari yet, I don't know what's wrong with you. At the same, The Irishman, I'm curious about, but they're saying it's way too long. I mean, it's really an epic film. I am excited for Little Women only because I want to see how this new iteration of the story is. I mean, there has been so many adaptations of this. There has been so many movies of this. So I'm curious to see how, because essentially Little Women at its core is a girl power movie, right? But it's never really been showcased the way it has been for this one, for this iteration of it. So I'm looking forward, and the cast is stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I want to see how they portray these roles. At the same time, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is, if you don't know who Quentin Tarantino is, I believe you're living under a rock. But also, this is a good movie to introduce yourself to him, because I would say that a lot of his other movies are pretty bloody and pretty controversial in tone. So maybe if you're a first timer, this is a good place to start. Because you know, I bet I'm gonna get a lot of flack about this, because people would say it's Pulp Fiction. If you wanna introduce someone to Quentin Tarantino's Pulp, no, I mean, it's an introduction, right? I want you to be able to appreciate, then look at his other films, because you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. The reason why I kind of liked Adam Driver is because Star Wars helped me introduce this actor, which now helped me really look into his other work.
Yes.
And that's a good introduction, because he made Kylo Ren such a compassionate villain, even if it's not even exists, a compassionate villain or something that you would feel some sense of empathy for.
So do we need to make it our goal to interview this man for this channel?
Maybe, but I don't know. I would die if that happens. But
Leia,
really,
puzzle on the
but you can just imagine. So when I watched Marriage Story,
Yeah.
and I understand why even Adam Driver says it's Noah Baumbach's best work to date, because I've seen Frances Ha, I've seen Inside Llewellyn Diaries, and then I can't remember the third film they collaborated on. Noah Baumbach is like fine wine. He gets better with every single movie he's done, and there's a certain thing about directors collaborating with actors.
Yes.
They really feed off on each other's energy, and that's the reason why Marriage Story, it is what it is, because of really the tandem of Adam Driver and Noah Baumbach.
Yeah.
And then you go back to all of his work, and even if that's the funny part, all of Adam Driver's previous jobs, he only appeared in like really short snippets, with exceptions for What If. He's probably most of like 2/3 of, maybe like almost 40% of the movie is there. So This Is Where I Leave You as another, and then obviously Black Klansman, and the other films like The Report. So those are things that are actually on other streaming services. And that's why you get an introduction, so you don't get to really be shocked about some of the other works, and really appreciate the talent that was delivered by that person you're trying to get introduced to it. So I agree with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being a good Quentin Tarantino introduction, and then start researching about his other movies so that you would appreciate why he's such a genius.
Yes.
Why he's as eccentric as it is, as he is.
See what he's gonna do next.
Yeah. So those are just some recommendations for you to check out when you think about the best movie category.
The roster this year, yeah.
Okay, so that's it for this episode of the award season Hoopla. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and our ramblings about our fangirling moments,
where Leia professes her love
for Adam Driver. So do check out our social media accounts, which is on the show notes. And please don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell button so that you can be notified of any new episodes that we're going to have over the next few days. So, and if you also have any topic requests or any suggestions you would like us to think or share our thoughts on, please do so in the comment section. We would love to hear from you guys. And
also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that we know and we can create more of these types of videos for you.
yeah, so for that, so I am Leia.
I'm Kate.
And this is Pinay Pop Sisters. And see you for the next episode. Bye!
Bye!